Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 10, Episode 2.
I really don't know what to expect from this season, Blair.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to do some deep dives this week. I was supposed to give y'all some deep dives this past week, but I actually wanted more information. And actually, with episode number 2, we didn't really get much more information, so we can start the deep dives on this cast. You ready for this, Blair?
I'm ready.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Let's go.
So Trish and Ken meet up with Maurice and Kimmi.
Mm-hmm.
Ken and Trish explain the situation with Marquez that happened the previous day with him coming in the house and arguing with Trish and her friend. Kimmi says, honestly, the key to getting along is getting along.
What do that mean, Kimmi?
Maurice says that he is going to be the kid's father at the end of the day, so you guys have to do things the best way to try to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
But something is making him upset, and Maurice also kind of wants to get the other side to get a full picture.
Yeah.
Ken says that Marquez needs to respect the boundaries, that those are your kids, but this is my family, and he's eliminating himself as a father by not being there. Kimmi says that some people would rather your kids not to actually like you, and the kids liking you could be a problem. Ken has always taken the high road with Marquez, and he finds it unfair.
Before I ask you what you thought about overall, I want to ask you specifically about that sentence. Those are your kids, but they are my family. How do you feel about that line right there?
I'm sorry, Kim. He's still married to that woman.
Yes, he is.
And those are his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's in maybe like a disjointed place with his family, but that is Marquez's family.
Literally.
Legally, biologically.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're doing a lot with that family. You live there, you care for them, you're doing all the things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad to say that although I'm happy that Ken has stepped in and is pouring love into Trish and is doing all these things.
Yeah.
Just like kind of the thing that they say with like for women, which I hate, but why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free?
Why?
And I'm just like, Ken, you're just doing a whole lot for a very messy situation, a very, very messy situation. And I don't know if you're going to get a return on investment. And by that, I mean, you want to be married.
He's not even getting what he wants. Exactly.
You want to be married. You, want to be, father to these kids.
Yeah.
And, maybe that is something that you are actively doing and they look at you in that way, which is beautiful. But I don't know if you're going to get what you want out of this. I think you're getting more of a headache than anything, really.
Yeah. And chime in whenever you want to on this part. Kimmi, I don't really understand what you mean by, hey, the basically how you get along is basically getting along, right? We saw the whole beginning part of your relationship where you was going back and forth with the ex-wife and things of that nature. So like, it's not as easy as just say, let's just get along, right? Especially with Ken, to where he basically really have no legitimate say about how Marquez show up in the lives of Marquez's kids.
And his wife.
Legally.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
It really makes these. That's what I'm just saying, y'all. I know some people talk about like, dating while separated and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's your life. I'm just a lady on YouTube. Do what you want to do. But honestly, I think you're setting yourself up for a messier situation by dating people who are not divorced.
Yeah.
I think that people may reconnect with their ex. They may like the back and forth that they have with their ex and, but want to have somebody fighting for them or in the middle of it or somebody on their side. It just gets really ugly. So it would be great if everything was signed on the dotted line and then you start considering taking that person seriously when they put to bed their previous situation.
And that's what I'm saying. Ken, why don't you give her an ultimatum and say, hey, get a divorce within this year or else I'm out.
Yeah.
Like you're not even getting anything out of it. And now it seems like you're fighting more for Marquez to be with his kids than what even Trish care about. Trish don't even care. So if I'm with the girl and she don't care, why do I care more than the girl that I'm actually with, that I actually care for with her kids?
Right.
These are not 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 10-year-old people. You get what I'm saying? These are actually, I think Marquez, I think his son is 19 years old.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why I'm just not understanding, like, Ken, you have no say, but yet you're saying a lot. If Tricia not talking about it, I'm not going to say more than what Tricia's saying, because at the end of the day, this is your issue. And if I don't want to be part of it, I would just excuse myself.
Yeah. So Martel meets up with Destiny.
Oh man.
He's looking for furniture for his investment property.
Yeah.
Arion and their son and her daughter are moving into this investment place.
Okay.
He says that he has been looking for rings and Arion is wife material, but his divorce still seems fresh and he's reminded by his 4 children every day about his previous marriage.
Okay.
Destiny tells him he's stuck and he should see a therapist. Of course, Martel doesn't think he does. And then they move on to how things fizzled out with Destiny and Lance. She thinks that, he just wasn't ready for a relationship.
That's fair.
And Martel says, honestly, you should let me coach you so you can get a man. And Destiny tells him no.
Yeah.
We learned that Destiny's workspace got moved to the downstairs level and she is now in something more like a storefront.
Hey, they move you to the downstairs level. That means you closer to the door.
Yeah.
I'll say this. If this is how y'all going to use Martel for this season, outside of his beef with Marsau and things of that nature, the way he just have random scenes, the way he's talking to Destiny about, I'm still not over my divorce. Hey, listen here. I understand that Mel is not on the show. Don't mention Mel. Don't mention your marriage. Don't mention nothing about your previous marriage. You had all the time to talk about what you're not over and what you are over while she was on the show. I don't want to hear about it when she's not on the show.
Right.
Right. This whole Destiny thing about how you going back and forth talking about I can help you get a man. They gave y'all a scene to shoot because y'all are part of the cast.
Yeah.
This scene have nothing to do with anything. It doesn't lead to anything. It doesn't enlighten me about anything that's going on. I will ask Destiny a question. Destiny, why are you always finding yourself in situations that's like these people are not your husband? I understand that in your previous situation and things of that nature. What is my man's name? I forgot his name from last season.
I don't know.
I mean, exactly, right? The man that kept going to the man that went to jail and things like that, and whatever it was.
Yeah, who got with the
producer
lady,
right?
Yeah.
I forgot her name too, right? Right? Whole time, I understand that y'all was dating, but that wasn't your husband. As she told you many times, I'm the wife, right?
Yeah.
And now you found yourself in a situation to where you kind of have this storyline with Lance to where he had a baby on you, but I don't even know if y'all was even boyfriend, girlfriend. So it's like, Destiny, what are you focused on?
I don't even put that on Destiny. I mean,
I don't, but at the same time,
I just feel like men, a lot of men can be a little shifty. You know what I'm saying?
I don't put it on Destiny, but I'm like, I hope, which is kind of hard to like say right now since it's early in the season. I hope this is not her storyline for the whole season of basically like, why didn't you tell me you was having a kid and things like that.
I will say I agree because I don't think their relationship was that serious.
Exactly. I'm just like,
so it's just kind of like, were y'all dating? It honestly just looked like y'all like flirting on camera. Honestly,
exactly.
That looked like as far as
Exactly.
it went. I could be totally wrong. I don't know these people,
Facts.
but I don't know how serious their dating actually was going.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't want to hear about why didn't you tell me you was having a baby. Well, I'm like, y'all was even less serious than the last relationship you was in, and y'all wasn't even engaged in that one. So I'm just like, I don't want to hear about Lance and Destiny, and I don't want to see Martel and Destiny just shooting scenes just to shoot scenes.
Yeah. So Marsau is working on Scott Manor.
Oh,
it
boy.
is a 10-acre property, and they've been working on it since 2019.
Basically, first season.
They have 3 kids sharing 1 bathroom, and Tricia is ready to move in.
Okay.
Their son wants to go to college in Michigan, but she wants him closer. And Marsau brings up how Kimmi and Maurice are telling him different things about this property on Jordan Lane, and it's just very hard communicating with them with trying to get this property built.
Okay.
Tricia wants her brokerage offers done first, and Marsau tells her it'll be done pretty soon. 30 days, 30 business days, somewhere in between that range. Tricia also wants to have a celebration of life. She had a hard time losing family in 2024. She also wants to invite her mom, and Marsau is not feeling that.
What is your thoughts about Scott's Manor is what it's called?
Scott Manor.
Scott Manor?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a great property, and it seems like a good location. I think that, honestly, I don't mind that it took them this long. We also had COVID, and then I think there was like issues with getting what is it called? I forget the name because I'm not a builder. But like materials and stuff like that.
Okay.
I think there was an issue with getting materials for building as well. So I mean, there was a lot of setbacks since 2020. So I mean, I don't fault him so much, but I do feel like the kids are going to be out the house by the time the house is built.
Yeah.
So I hope they enjoy this forever home.
The only issue that I have with this is that, hey, don't use Scott Manor storyline of 2019 and 2025. What's going on with y'all? Like, basically, you giving us the same old, basically, Marsau and Tricia type of storyline of we building our house. and then I guess you show us the stakes being in the ground and things like that. And granted, it could be dope, and I hope before the show is complete, I'm not gonna say cancel, because sometimes shows can be like, you know what, we gonna do this last season and we're done. But I hope the last time that we see Marsau and Tricia on our TV screens, that we will at least see a scene with them in their house.
That would be nice.
That would be a good payoff, right? Because the payoff is not talking about Wanda. The payoff is not talking about how you want your office done before all this. He already don't believe in you working that much, so he's not going to put your office as number one priority and things like that. And when it comes down to the whole Maurice and Kimmi thing, even though teacher said, I think you should talk to Kimmi because, like this is her project and things like that. Listen here, sometimes working with family, the thing with Kimmi, the problem that she had with working with Marsau to begin with, is that he has a reputation of not finishing things. So it's like, and then you show us an unfinished Scott Manor. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, I'm tired of these storylines that you wish to see, or that we saw in 2019, and you wish to see some progression by 2025, but we're literally still at the starting line.
Yeah.
Literally.
So Maurice and Marquez have a sit-down conversation.
Why?
Marquez says that when he went to sign the papers, he didn't sign it because it didn't say that they had minor children. He said he would have had to prove that they had children, so he didn't sign it. Maurice talks about how, or asks him, does he have a lawyer? He says they don't have lawyers. And honestly, Maurice doesn't even recommend lawyers for the situation. He's like, you're just going to pay your lawyers for the course to end up making the decision anyway. Marquez says that Ken did reach out to him, and he gets why Trish loves him because he's like her dad, and Marquez is not like her dad, and he would never be like her dad.
Okay.
Maurice asks what has he done in this situation to contribute to it being as bad as it is, and he said he didn't leave after the first year when he knew they shouldn't have been together. His dad told him that they wouldn't last for 5 years, and he decided to stay to prove his dad wrong. Then he couldn't leave her when her family members started passing away.
Wow.
Maurice said, well, why still be there in this situation if she doesn't want you? And Marquez feels like she never said she didn't want me.
That's fact.
I'm the one who filed for divorce, and apparently she filed as well, but she only filed, according to Marquez, because Ken told her to. And he says he gave her to Ken. If he wanted her, he could get her back. He does feel like he lost his best friend. He loves her, but he doesn't really want to be with her. And he wants to possibly take his family on a vacation with Ken, with his new girlfriend, if he has one at the time. And Maurice says the best bet you probably going to get is being cordial with them people.
Yeah, he basically said, listen here, the way I am with my ex-wife and things of that nature, we don't be vacation together. We not like on a friends buddy system. Like, we cool, but we not like talking to each other.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Marquez. Even though you said some things that may be factual, actual, you contradicted yourself in the same sentence, literally, right? So all this time, you over here talking about Trish never said she don't want me, but you made it very clear you don't want her since year one.
Yeah.
So why don't you end the marriage then?
Yeah.
Like, if you are staying around and making this process as difficult as possible on the whole fact of she never said she wanted me, or like she never said she didn't want me, rather, but yet you made it clear that you don't want her, but yet you over here talking about, I miss my best friend, I miss, it's like, what do you want out of this? And as a man, why don't you go for what you want? Yeah. But instead, he just basically dragging his feet along, because I think, like I said, Tricia and Marquez is basically the two sides of the same coin and things like that. So he's over here contesting the divorce while at the same time saying, well, you know what, I don't want to be with her since year one, but at the same time I miss her. It's like, why did he give this man a role on?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
on the show,
like he just talks, and it's just like, I just rather not listen.
Yeah,
because it doesn't make sense.
No,
it doesn't make sense, and he's doing everything to make things hard for them, for this divorce to go through, and I honestly feel like they say, what, like, thin line between love and hate. Like, do you hate her? Is that why you're making it so difficult? Are you still in love with her, and you at one point want to be able to get back with her maybe 15 years down the road and say that y'all never got a divorce? Yeah. Like, it's hard to know the intention from both of them, to be honest.
Facts.
And I get that Trish, filed her paperwork and did all that type of stuff. But it was basically pushed on her by Ken because Ken wants to get married, but she doesn't really want to get married again, so she's not going to go from the divorce house to get married just because Ken wants to.
And that's the
just like, it's just a very messy situation, and that's why I'm like, Ken shouldn't have got himself this deep into this.
As you hit the nail on the head right there, Blair. This have nothing to do, as much as they trying to make it a main storyline, this actually have nothing to do with Marquez and Trish being divorced. That's literally not the point of the story.
Mm-hmm.
The real root of everything is that Tricia don't want to be remarried.
Yeah.
That's really the storyline of Ken and Tricia, is that she do not want to be remarried. And I feel like she's pulling at straws, even though she may have said, you know what, I signed the papers, it is what it is, right? That doesn't mean, to Blair's point, that I'm leaving the divorce house and going straight to the altar. Even then, when she had the papers and stuff like that, and I think she was in the house talking to Mel, I think she was, if I'm not mistaken. And that's when everybody was basically excited, like, okay, now you and Ken can do things. And she was like, wait, can I just like be divorced for a second?
Exactly.
And so it's like, at the end of the day, okay, you will finally get what you want, Ken, in the sense of they are now divorced. But that doesn't mean that you will get what you want in the sense of y'all will be married now.
Right.
You will still be in the same position that you were in when she was married, because guess what? She's married now, and Marquez allegedly is not around the kids. And guess what? If they get divorced, he probably won't be around the kids. So you literally will be in the same position, and you will have no one to blame except for the person to rightfully blame. Tricia. It's not Marquez. It's Tricia.
I was gonna say himself.
Oh, no. Himself too.
Right.
Okay.
So we just get this scene of Tisha and MJ about him about to go off to school.
Yes.
And he's honestly going to miss his dad more than his mom, because his dad is like a pillar. And Tisha is just somebody who kind of keeps him straight.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about how he'll always have a home and a safe place to come back to.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a cute scene. Really don't have much more to say about that.
Yeah.
I wish that he appreciated his mom more.
I'm about to say his mother was actually a stay-at-home mom for like the longest.
Exactly. But the thing is, I think that for some kids, a lot of kids, you probably don't really appreciate everything your parents do for you until you kind of get into the world and you have to do it all by yourself. And you're like, dang, mom actually did a lot.
Listen,
you know,
man, we hope that she gets some appreciation before, you know, she leaves this earth. But that's usually how it goes, right? It usually goes because, dude, you know what puts a delay on that appreciation? If he gets in a relationship.
Oh yeah, and then she just starts picking up where his mom left off.
Exactly. So so at the end of the day, I did find it funny that if it was even though his father was the pillar to him, and granted, I'm not here trying to down no black man being in the house, being a father to his kids, but I got to be honest with what I saw. He did not know one of his kids was allergic to peanut butter, and he was about to feed him a peanut butter jelly sandwich on TV. We was about to watch a murder on TV.
Your mom literally saved your life.
Yes, or one of the kids spoke up or something like that. So it's like, let's not forget, even though Tisha recently within these past couple years been trying to get back in the workforce and back in the workforce to the point where she got a broker office, let's not forget all the work and things of that nature that Tisha done for those children.
Yeah. So Ken and Marquez are going to, have a conversation at the house.
Yeah.
Trish says that she's going to sit in on it. And the reason I wrote it specifically down the way that she said it is because how are you sitting in on a conversation between your boyfriend and your husband? Talking about you just going to sit in on it. This is your man, ma'am. Like, you need to be hosting the sit down
actually,
in order to get to the bottom of it. And Ken needs to be the one sitting in.
You actually tricked me.
What's that?
Because I was with you, but you took a detour. So basically you said the conversation needs to be between her and Marquez, and Ken needs to be sitting in.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you was going across the route of basically like she wants to sit in because she wants to argue. Because that's how I took it. I took it as she wants to sit in, not to mediate. It kind of go back to when she had the
But I think that's a fair point too.
No, it's that time where they had the party for the son when he was graduating and things like that. She likes to spar with him. She likes to get back and forth with Marquez, and she's basically like, you know what? This is another opportunity because guess what? Whenever Ken and Marquez talk, it's too peaceful. You know what I'm saying? Ken is too level-headed and things of that nature.
And she had admitted that she's just like, I actually don't like when they're on good terms.
Exactly. She said it out her mouth. So that's why I think she wants to basically poke the bear. That's why she invited the friend who's not part of the cast, but she's there again for episode number 2.
I was thinking to myself, why would she invite this friend? And I was just like, oh, to ruffle his feathers.
Exactly.
Because she knows he's going to ruffle her feathers.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Ken is talking about how they need to set up boundaries. Of course, Marquez just walks into the house and asks where his drink is at. And Trish says, this is Marquez's way of getting under your skin.
No, this is Marquez getting under your skin.
And I will say this, Marquez is a frustrating somebody. And he definitely does it on purpose.
Of course.
But I also think just the way that he goes about telling stories and explaining situations is also infuriating because he takes the long way. He throws in unnecessary information. I just think back to that interview with Carlos when he was talking about getting his grandma. I think it was Carlos and Dr. Heavenly, and he was like, y'all can meet my grandma if you want to.
No one asked.
We're not here for that.
Shout out to your grandmother, though. Shout out to Mima.
It's just a lot of red herrings in these conversations with Marquez. It's hard to stay on a straight and narrow with this man. So Trish says, like, look, he talks about how we should have set boundaries before y'all even started talking. And Trish says that honestly, we don't need to go back in the past and talk about it. You know, you were out of sight and out of mind, and I was living my life and doing what I was doing.
She was.
Marquez said that he walked into the room, you know, when he was dropping his daughter off, and there was immediate hostility. And Trish tells him, you walked into my house uninvited. Marquez is like, okay, so I'll knock on the door beforehand. And then Kid says, like, you're speaking as if this isn't understood, that you don't just walk up into people's houses. Marquez's explanation is that he's not going to let his daughter walk in with like multiple drinks, multiple bags, and him not help her. So Trish friend, she ends up walking in, and Marquez tells her, look, I know I don't know you. I'm going to apologize for our last interaction. And he's asking if she needs a drink because he's thirsty and they can't get no drinks in this house.
That's true. I haven't been offered anything and I've been here for 10 minutes.
And Trish is like, look, we don't need to discuss the past. Let's focus on the children. And Ken says, look, you guys need to stop bringing the kids in the middle of your situation. And he tells them, look, the kids aren't traumatized. Do they miss their dad here and there? Absolutely. But they're not down bad. They're not in a situation to where they feel like they are without something. Marquez doesn't need Ken to assure him about his kids, and Ken says, look, these are your kids, but this is my family, and we live and we do everything together. Marquez explains to him, you're just the boyfriend of Trish.
That is wild to say, but it's so
it's so true.
It's so factual.
They ask him, so are you coming to the dance competition? And Marquez is like, of course I'm coming. Didn't I send you the $500? And Ken is like, well, I'm not going to applaud you for doing something that you need to do. You know, I'm a drive, and you know, they see me in the flesh and I'm present and everything like that. And Marquez is like, look, I'm in Huntsville. I'm here. So now what? Trish put on there apparently that they had no minor kids, and that's why he says he contested the papers. But they get the paperwork. She has her friend confirmed that the children's names are listed on there. They got reassigned because, you know, Marquez contested it, and Ken tells him to stop lying. He tells him to sit down, let's have a conversation, and Marquez doesn't want to sit down, so he tells him that you can get out. He's not getting out, so Marquez says, Ken says, then I'll put you out. Marquez is asking, all right, it's not even about all that. Can we just move forward? And Ken is like, we can't move forward when you're going to sit up here and lie.
Do you want to go first or I go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
So, geez.
I'm about to say
there's so many things to go on. Can you go and I just jump in? At different points.
I go. Okay, let's start. Let's start from the top, right? Let's start with the friend. The friend don't need to be there. Literally, the friend don't need to be there. She don't know anything. This has nothing to do with her. She don't need to be there. She don't need no apology in person. She don't need to be there.
Not
right?
at all.
Also, I want to start from the kids are not traumatized, right? If the kids are not traumatized and things of that nature, then why do y'all keep bringing them up? Which I agree. That's the only thing that I agree with Ken about. He said, because at the end of the day, whenever you hear about their relationship, talk about Tricia and Marquez, they use kids as basically shields or the reasons of why they're not getting along and things like that. And he said, hey, let's stop putting the kids in the middle of things. Even last episode, you saw Tricia basically yelling at her son and basically talking about, what's going on? What's going on? And it's just like, all of y'all is unhinged in the house except for the kids. So y'all trying to use the kids as basically the reason of like, oh, you're traumatized. I'm like around my daughter and I'm trying to be around my son. And I'm like, your son is 19 years old. He's not a minor kid anymore. By the law, he's a man and things like that. Of course, we know like he got to grow up and things like that. So this is not about the son, right? Let's say it's about the daughter, right? Ken, I understand you do a lot for the family, but you are the boyfriend and this is not your family. I understand that you are collecting people kids like freaking infinity stones and things of that nature. The last relationship, you took that kid and basically become the father of that kid, even though you're not with the mother. You know what I'm saying?
And I do want to say, I think it's great that he is willing to be in children's lives and to be a positive influence on them. But I also feel like when you get yourself in too deep and you're going to have to sit up here and argue with the father, because the father is in the kids' lives in some type of way.
And the thing about it is, I need to know, is Marquez not in the kid's life completely, or he's not in the kid's life to the capacity that you're in the kid's life?
And the only way that you can do that is if you live with them. And he doesn't live with them, but he's still their father.
So, but I need to know, because my thing is, if he have a texting conversation with his daughter, to where, because the daughter got a cell phone, she can reach out and talk to her father whenever she wants to and things like that. If there's a relationship there, right, we cannot negate the fact that there may be a relationship there.
And y'all can't believe the type of relationship
it may not be to the capacity to what you're doing, because even then he said, I sent you the $500 for like the dance thing. And that's when Ken went on and said, you think that $500 is going to do something? You think that $500 is going to put a dent to how much it really costs and things like that? That's because you said this is your family.
Yeah.
Listen here. I am the one that actually walked away from my actual family, and guess what? Because that's my daughter, and because guess what? She still want to be with her dad, because at the end of the day, she was hanging out with her father, right? You cannot police it to where it's like, you know what? This is my family. No, I actually was out with my daughter. No, I actually was out with my son. Also, one thing that Tricia says, something that actually stuck out to me, to where basically, I think somebody says something about boundaries, and I think Ken brought up the conversation, and that's when Marquez was basically like, yeah, we have to do that. And Trish said out her mouth, I don't have to do ish. If Trish is the one that's saying I don't have to do ish, if I'm Ken, I'm backing all the way out of it, because at the end of the day, I'm with Tricia. So if this is my woman, and I'm putting more effort to bring peace amongst y'all, it's backwards. It's back to what Blair was saying. If this is going to be a three-way conversation, guess what? The main people that need to be talking is Tricia and Marquez, and I mediate. Yeah. Not no, I'm leading the conversation, and I'm the one trying to bring peace amongst y'all three. I'm just a boyfriend, right? So I shouldn't be leading the conversation. This is basically an example that Ken is being gaslit he's choosing to be gaslit. And basically when I say that, I'm not saying that to make him a victim. He's choosing to be gaslit by Marquez and his girlfriend. They just like to be angry at each other. Yeah. Like Tricia likes to be angry. That's something that she says, right? So that's why she brought the friend over. That's why she said, I don't have to do ish. Even though she knows. And that's why I'm like, he's being gaslit. She's talking about she don't have to do ish and get into these spats with Marquez, where she knows that Ken is the one over here going out of his way trying to bring peace to the family.
Yeah, and she's actively working against it. They both are.
So
Tricia
it's like,
and Marquez.
So that's why I'm like, Ken, stand up. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's all I got to say for that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, with this conversation, like I said, I just would love to see Trish take the reins in the situation with her husband. Her husband, y'all.
Yeah. Not Ken.
In the way that they want to co-parent and the way they want to see the relationship. But that's why I've just come to the conclusion that they don't want peace.
No, they don't.
They want the back and forth. They want to have to be constantly at odds. I don't know why. I feel like it would be much easier to have a peaceful relationship. And don't get me wrong. Like I keep saying, Marquez is infuriating somebody.
Very.
And he also lied about the paperwork when they were shoving the paperwork in his face.
Pretty much.
And I do think that for somebody like that, you have to be very cut and dry. You know, you can't have these long drawn out conversations. You can't sit up here and allow him to carry the conversation in a way other than where it was supposed to initially go. Like, you really have to ignore all of the extra sauce that he puts onto stuff. You have to ignore his tone. You have to ignore all of that to get to the root of the situation and to actually come to some type of resolve. Yeah. And I think that Ken is able to get to that place with Marquez to where they can be cordial, because he is willing to put down his feelings or his guards or anything like that to actually come to a place of peace. But Trisha's not willing to do that. And I'll give it to you. They have a lot of history. That man abandoned her by what she says. So there is a lot of hurt there to where they can't really get on the same page. But at this point, to where she says, we're not talking about the past, we're talking about the present and what we need to be doing at this point. Yeah. And what y'all need to be doing is finalizing this divorce. And if he's over here wanting to contest it, there's nothing we really need to talk about, honestly. Yeah, and let's talk about it through the courts.
I'm just confused because I'm like, Ken, if your girlfriend, it's kind of wild to say, because I was literally about to say fiance, if your girlfriend is really hurt by how her husband abandoned her and things like that, why are you trying to mediate that everybody get along? Like at the end of the day, if she's really that hurt, I think, hey, you need to set real clear boundaries to protect her and to protect her peace. If she was really that hurt and things like that, I'm just going by what she says.
Yeah.
So off top, I don't care if your daughter had 20 bags. Do not step foot in my house, or else it's going to be a problem. Mm-hmm. Like, don't tell me how much you want to be a father and helping her with her bags and things of that nature, where you walked out her life.
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm like, he's picking and choosing.
And I think with Ken too, he always likes to get into this competition with Marquez about what he's doing and what he's not doing, and how much he's contributing and how he's not contributing. And yes, those are all real factors, and those are all things I think is fair to get upset about when you're the one that's carrying the load on your back.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is their father. This is the man that Trish chose to have children with. And this is the person that y'all have to work with and work around. Mm-hmm. So if he's can only give you $500 today and 20 cents tomorrow, I mean, there's not much more you can do other than accept what he can do and understand what he can't do, and then move on in the simple fact that you are the one that put it on your shoulders to carry this family.
Yeah.
Without being able to get married. Even though that's what you really want.
And that's the thing that sucks. They can only be your family if you actually get legally married to Tricia. And you thinking that actually Marquez is the stumbling block to like what you want. And I understand. I really don't understand. That's why I don't argue the truth. Mm-hmm. Like, the truth is, you got the paperwork. Why are you trying to feed it to him?
Yeah.
Like you know the truth. You don't got to argue that. Just kick him out the house, right? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, Marquez is not your enemy, Ken.
Yeah.
Your enemy is the one sitting next to you, because like Blair said, she's not going to go from the divorce house to across the hall in that same courtroom and get married to you.
Right.
You may have that stumbling block, and you may find yourself in a position to where Marquez is out the picture. Now what? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anything else?
No, that's really pretty much all I have.
Listen, I'm going to rewatch the show, and I'm going to take notes, and I'm going to figure out some deep dives to do for y'all this week and things of that nature. Some things that going to surprise you, Blair. Hopefully you on your toes and things of that nature. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above, and we see y'all.
Bye.